up everybody, I'm Lacey and welcome back to the Artverse. Today is a super special video as today I will be doing my first DIY project on my channel. So the other day I happened to do a little bit of a spend up in my favourite store Kmart and I happened to come across these coasters here. Now they're quite plain, but I thought that these would be a perfect makeover opportunity so that these could fit into our house quite nicely. So I was thinking, what better theme for these coasters than Studio Ghibli? So sit back, relax, and let's see some magic. To begin the project, I started with masking the back of my coasters. This was just to protect it from any paint lying around or any resin that I was going to use in the future. Luckily, the tab that I made on the back of the coasters with the masking tape came in handy when it came to sanding. I was not too keen on getting my nails all ruined up by the sanding, not only that, it's not nice having rough hands. Once the sanding was all completed, that's when I started using gesso. For those who don't know what gesso is technically a primer that is used on any ground or surface that you would like to paint on. It can either create an extra effect, make your colours look brighter, or just make a smoother surface for you to work on. Once my first coat of gesso was all done and dried, I then applied a second one. I like to have 2 coats of gessos to ensure that I'm getting good coverage. For my design process, I decided to trace out the coasters and use the program Procreate. Now Procreate is a really good program to use, especially if you're just trying to figure out your layouts of any designs, and it's nice to reference images and create all these different designs. The movies that I chose to base my coasters off are the Studio Ghiblis that I find to be my favourite and the ones I enjoyed the most. The ones I chose were Spirited Away, My Neighbor Totoro, Kiki's Delivery Service, Howl's Moving Castle, Princess Mononoke, and Ponyo. I absolutely love these films. They make me so happy every time I watch them. Once I was happy with my designs, I then printed them out. From there, I cut them out and I then ended up sticking them onto my coasters so they were ready for transfer. I used transfer paper because I really wanted to get my drawings accurate. It just makes things less complicated. Not only that, I'm not really good at drawing anime, but it is something I would love to get better at over in time. Once I finished transferring all my designs on my coasters, I then fixed it up with a black pen. This just makes the lines more defined, and so I know where I needed to paint my certain colours. Now that my designs are all transferred, ready to go, now it's time to start painting. Now, I wasn't too sure what type of brand to use when playing around with resin, as this is the first time I've ever played with resin before. So I decided to go with this brand called Colour Pour Resin. So this one is normally used if you're doing colour acrylic pours or anything like that there. But this one here was also a good one to use on top of paintings, anything like that there. So in this part of the video, I was just pouring my resin on my coasters, just making sure I got an even layer. I think I probably needed a little bit more resin because it wasn't exactly going to all the edges that I wanted. But for my first go, it wasn't a bad attempt. Now I just need to take off all the masking tape off my coasters. So from doing this, I definitely kept the back of my coasters nice and clean from any damage, anything like that. But because there was dry resin on there, when I was trying to take the tape off, I accidentally cut my finger. I've got to say, guys, it was not a nice feeling. My resin is all dry, so now I need to create some sort of decal on the sides of my coasters. This is when I thought a nice string effect would go quite nicely, just to kind of bring everything all together. First, I needed to figure out how much string I was going to need, and especially the length. So what I ended up doing here is I ended up cutting off a little bit of tape, taping the string on the side of the coaster, and then wrapped it around so I could figure out how much I needed. I also looked at the width of the coaster as well, and from there I decided I needed about 5 or 6 pieces of string in order to get that sorted. Now I just need to measure out 6 pieces of strings times 3. Next is a nice creamy white colour, and I need to do the same, but for this one here, because the string is a bit thicker, I'm just going to need 5 pieces of string and times that by 3. I decided to use a hot glue gun for this because it's just a lot easier to use. But first I ended up putting the strings into piles so that it was easier to wrap around the coaster. The amount of times I burnt myself. Ugh. Ta-da! All finished, guys. I've got to say, my favourite coaster out of this is probably Kiki's delivery service. I absolutely love Gigi. He is so cute. And there we have it, guys. My Studio Ghibli DIY coasters are finished. I'm not gonna lie, guys. It took some time to do, but that is not gonna stop me from doing any more DIY projects. I'd love to do another one eventually. If you guys like this video or feel inspired in any way to have a go at a project like this yourself, click that like button, don't forget to subscribe, and turn on the notifications button just to see more content from me. Anyway, as always, guys, thank you so much for watching. I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye!